here in Austria a couple of years ago that Dave Pallett had his best ever run on the European Tour, making it all the way to the semi-finals of the European Darts Match Play. That was a weekend littered with 180s from Pallett, playing the darts of his life that weekend, taking out players including Kim Huybrechts before being beaten by Dave Chisnall in the last 4. Can he conjure up another weekend like that? Because it's been a while coming for Dave Pallett, but Chris Dobey has suffered a slump in form over the last few weeks and months, and the new dad will be looking to recapture some of the form that we saw last year from him.
Game 1.
It is Dobey v Pallett. I'm Dan Dawson, Paul Nicholson alongside me, and desperately trying to stop his massive northeast bias for this one.
100.
Well, it is Northumberland versus Shropshire. And of course, Chris is a great friend of mine. But Dave Pallett, fine young man, fine young player. And at what age do we have to stop calling them young players?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the official rule on that is.
100.
I mean, Phil Taylor's been calling. Phil Taylor's called everybody a cracking little player, no matter who they. I'm sure he's probably called Dennis Priestley a cracking little player in his time. So I think basically we can get away with it for the rest of time.
58.
That's good enough for me. Yeah, young Daddy Dobey, or as they say in Northumberland, war-old chap.
140.
Yeah, I think Chris is looking for a performance in a tournament this year to really get him going. I think Dave's looking for the same thing. It's a thing in itself to qualify for these events now. It's a real confidence boost.
41.
But when you get here, you want to make an impact, don't you?
Yeah, well, he did make a quarter-final in one of the UK Open qualifiers at the start of the year, Chris Dobey, but since then he's not even won his board in any Pro Tour event, so not even made the last 16. And we have had 14 of those events over the course of this year, as well as all those other UK Open qualifiers and various other Euro Tour events where he's not performed at all, Dobey, and another one of those will leave double 16. And he takes that out for a 15 dart, so it's a decent start from Chris Dobey.
That'll do indeed. And I'm sure he wasn't going for that single 15, but the good thing about a 62 checkout is that another one leaves something on the same level, which is just on the other side of the board. It's an easy adjustment.
Yeah, you're one of those players who likes that. You try and minimise the difference between shots, don't you? Like, say at the Grand Prix, you start on double 16, and then if you do hit it, you'll go straight for the treble 19 rather than up to treble 20, just because you feel like you've got a feel for that area of the board already.
Absolutely. I think if you take the 9 darter out of the equation, you can pretty much do what you like, but the double 16 to treble 19 has become very popular over the last few years.
140.
I started doing it purely because it was on the same height, and I didn't want to have that real jump from double 16 all the way to triple 20. And I understand the guys who go tops in double 18 because they're very similar heights. But it's just whatever you're comfortable with. I mean, Mensa is whatever you like. It's double 18, double 14.
140.
That's why you will see some players, if they've got a 56 checkout, they'll stick one quite high in the 20 bed and then just move over to the double 18 because they've already got the weight of dart, essentially. Just need to adjust the line.
85.
Absolutely right. And Chris, for the second leg in a row, has left 161 after 9 darts, which shows consistency.
90.
He's putting Pallett under pressure here.
Certainly is. Does he have a response, Pallett?
57.
Not really. It's down to 130.
Could be another double 16 and is. What a lovely setup.
What
a lovely double. Very reminiscent of the last game with Vincent van der Voort, who was putting on a clinic of finishing. Chris Dobey will be very, very pleased with the start of this match.
Yeah, well, Chris Dobey, look, we know he's got something. He's got talent, and Gary Anderson's been talking up Chris Dobey for a long, long while now, and it's only really last year where he made that step up and started to make people pay attention to how good he can be. He's a lad who, only started playing PDC when he was too old for the development tour, so he hasn't had that ability to develop his game on the development tour. He's just been thrown in with the big lads and sink or swim, and for a while it looked like sink, but started to find his feet Had a little run of events where he consistently made quarter-finals. Had a big run on the European Tour.
100.
And he's shown that he's at home in the big stages. I think, Dobey's temperament is one of his best facets, if you like, to his game. We saw that when he went on that run to the quarterfinals of the Grand Slam last year.
From a marketing perspective, I think he's an absolute dream.
125.
Looks after himself. He looks great on the hockey. He doesn't curse ever. He's just the most polite lad you'll ever meet.
96.
But on the dartboard,
48.
he doesn't whisper. He just gets on with it. And another double 16 away from 3-0.
Oh, double 8 will do. And there it is, Chris Dobey. 15 darter, 14 darter, 15 darter, and this is very, very impressive stuff from a man who has not really been given us this level of performance over the course of this year.
105.
Is the nappy factor coming into play?
Wow. And I know that you're an advocate
90,
of get yourself a new dart shirt, suddenly everything will turn for you. It hasn't worked for Chris Dobey. It's having a delayed effect, essentially. It's just a bit of lag time before the new shirt factor kicks in.
28.
Well, the dart shirts that have come in the last few years, some of them I think are nothing short of abhorrent.
109.
But I am a fan of Chris Dobey's. I think it's understated. I think it looks really good and classy. Is he going to follow up?
174.
Well, it's just as good.
174 from Pallett in response to the 180. Leaves himself a 2-darter, but you may see Pallett go for the bullseye with his first dart
60.
here.
Unicorn 94.
No, he's gone the aggressive route. Is he double-double? No.
54.
Oh, he leaves himself tops. This hurts. This hurts so much. Oh. No.
64.
Squares it up at a ton.
40.
Pallett looking in the same vicinity, right at the top.
You sure
No problem.
David Pallett.
Nothing wrong with that. 13 darter in reply, but that's the kind of stuff that Dave Pallett is being forced to throw here against Chris Dobey, who started off very, very well.
Yeah, Chris Dobey was a thorn in my side in qualifying. Took me out. He played very, very well though. He got a lead and he didn't surrender it. And then he took out one of the
59.
nicest elder statesmen on the tour. 6-5. That must have been a really good game. Dave Pallett, he took off
100.
on Robert Owen of Wales, and he beat Robert Thornton to get through. Robert Thornton's been playing a lot better in the last 6 or 7 weeks.
Things have picked up for the Thorn
140.
when he has really been in this year. That is not a bad win at all for Dave Pallett. Certainly the most recent Pro Tour weekend saw the Thorn
78.
put in some impressive displays. Saw one incredible match with Mark Barilli. It was phenomenal. Oh, this is good. This is very good from Pallett.
162.
Essential Pallett. Good grouping, good counting, great execution.
100.
Well, it's a chance of a break here. We'll go in the 18s route. It's not going to happen now.
Oh, that would have been some finish. 5
Hammering the
18s,
18s,
double
yeah.
16. That would have been one ages.
83. 16 for Bull. Bullseye for 4-1. Mid route. Great dart. Double 5.
85.
Just pulled it low, didn't he? Quite some way away. You can see him. He's not happy with that. Double 5.
85.
Just pulled it low, didn't he? Quite some way away. You can see him. He's not happy with that dart. Didn't really give it a chance. Snatched it down into the single 5. Double 8 for Dobey to go 2 legs away from victory.
9.
So they're the kind of doubles that you need to hit to just give yourself a little bit of space, a bit of breathing room, and take some of the pressure away. And the pressure will be applied if Pallett hits double 2.
3.
So a reprieve from the North for the Northumbrian.
60.
He can breathe now and say, "Come on, let's get this hit." Gets it hit.
Big shot to the fifth leg.
Well, by
Chris
some
Dobey.
distance, the scrappiest leg of the match, but Chris Dobey wins it, and he is 4-1 up as these two fight it out for a place in the second round to take on Stephen Bunting. Bunting, a stable mate, same management
59.
stable as David Pallett. I know they're mates, they've done some practicing together in the past.
I've actually seen Bunting and Dave Pallett practice together
43.
at Pro Tours, and it is fierce. It's not one of those jovial, let's have a little bit of a conversation, go on with it. It's genuinely intense.
98.
And some of the scoring that you see in those practices is nothing short of ridiculous.
Well, when he is playing well, he does hit a lot 180s. I say the run he had to the semi-finals in Austria a couple of years ago, I remember the bookies got it completely wrong because they were consistently, Dave Pallett was hitting 4 or 5 180s in every game, and they consistently had him at 1.5 as the spread. And people were making money hand over fist on Dave Pallett over the course of that weekend because once he got going, he just did not stop. He does have that in his locker. It's just that Dave Pallett, for a little while now, has been struggling. And you only have to look at his results over this year. I mean, he's failed to make a quarter-final at all. He's managed to win his board twice. So, I mean, it's pretty much a similar position that Chris Dobey's found himself in
92.
over the first few months of 2017. That is not to say that either or both of these guys can't turn it around in the latter half of the year. I mean, I know we've talked on a number of about Kim Hybrex, who always seems to turn it on as we get towards September.
55. David, you require 94.
94, that leaves 76, that leaves 8.
78.
Well, Chris Dobey is way back. And there were some missed doubles from Dave Pallett in the last leg. Will it be the case again? To the right. Way right for double 4. And missed darts could cost him again.
Ricky requires 78.
This could be a killer. 20 in tops for a 4-leg advantage, and the shake of the head
58.
from Pallett, but now he's got to gather
David, you
himself
require 4.
and think, I can still get back in this if I hit this double.
It's in the madhouse again.
No score.
Dave Pallett, it is one of those days. It is a long old trip from Newport in Shropshire all the way to Vienna in Austria, only to find yourself potentially 5-1 down. Alongside that, and it is 5-1. And that is exactly what has happened. And Dave Pallett may be getting that sinking feeling. He doesn't know where to look.
Chris to throw first. Game on.
Not a happy man at all, because we both know that he can perform so much better, and he knows it.
Yeah.
100.
He's one of those dart players, and we all are, to be fair, our own worst critic.
128.
Well, I mean, it's a very strange little stable, Nevada darts at the minute. He did it. Pallett hit straight back.
140.
Hits back with a 140 this time. You've got Rob Cross, who is just on the crest of a wave and can do absolutely no wrong. Stephen Bunting, who's been... You've got Rob Cross, who is just on the crest of a wave and can do absolutely no wrong. Stephen Bunting, who's been having a real tough time of it, although there have been signs of a renaissance from the bullet. And Pallett, of course, is struggling as well. Ricky Evans has been in and out. Joe Cullen is playing some very good darts. But you look at those guys, go back 18 months and it was probably the other way around. It was Bunting and Pallett who were on the crest of a wave. Cullen wasn't the player that he's become. Nobody had even heard of Rob Cross. Things can change. It's whether, being part of that stable can actually help you turn things around. But it looks like it's too much for Dave Pallett to turn this one around, because Chris Dobey is going to get a match dart for as convincing a win as we've seen today.
53.
One dart missed at double 16, but Pallett looking at a massive one just to stay alive, and I'm not really sure it's going to go. It might do, but it won't. And that last one's thrown in anger by Pallett, and it might be the last dart he throws at the Austrian Darts Open, because double 8 for Chris Dobey will seal the deal. A 6-1 win matching Jamie Bain's victory against Christian Kist earlier on today.
Chris Dobey thought that first one was in, you know. He was almost going over the hockey, but that one is in. The Northumbrian takes it in a very disconsolate Dave Pallett will be going back to Shropshire, unfortunately for his camp. But the Northumbrian is very happy in a very classy, graceful manner. He says to the referee, the chokers and the crowd, we will see him tomorrow against Stephen Bunting. I'm licking my lips. I hope you guys are too. That him written all over it. Next we've got dancing Dimitri Vandenberg. He comes back to the European Tour after taking the last one off against West Wales' own Jamie Lewis. Looking forward to that. Stick with us.